Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to invite you all on the journey. As we embark on this journey, I would love to pick your brain just a little. If you had the opportunity, what would you say to the younger version of you? As you ponder on that, let's take a look at what a special someone had to say when I asked him the same question. I'm Jay Danae, and this is Looking Back.
I could use three words to describe me at 17. It would be broken, uh, resent, resentful, and sad. Hi, my name is Eduard Flowers. I'm 21 years old. If I could have a conversation with the 17-year-old version of myself, I would say to him, embrace yourself and embrace yourself because you have a long way to go from where you are now to where you're going to be. The way I view myself when I was 17, I could kind of say I was really miserable and trying to put on a face, try to put on a proud face to keep going. It was rough because I had a lot on my plate at that time. It was a lot. My father was dealing with stage 4 lung cancer at that time. I was just going through a lot of identity crisis, a lot of issues. During that time, it was just like, okay, well, you're going through this. I mean, you're dealing with you're dealing with identity issues. You don't know if you want to be with a girl. You don't know if you want to be with a boy. And then being in high school, especially a public school, is just a lot with people already putting their stigma, their standards on you, their view. Because from very young, I've always liked fashion. I always wanted to be a fashion designer, and anything I do with fashion, that was my thing. So from then it was always like, oh, you're gay and blah blah blah. You're this, you're that. You're a sissy. You're a faggot. And those words really started to etch who my identity will probably be going forward. So during that time, I was experimenting, and it was just like trying to keep a face, because doing that, also being in church, that's just like the biggest no-no. It's just like, so trying to keep a proud face, trying to keep what I was doing a secret to me, even though God saw all of that, as we all know. And it was just, it was 17 was a rough year for me. It was hard because I really didn't have people like that who I could really talk to, and who I could really talk to and express myself about my feelings, how I really felt. Um, I don't know. It was, even though I know there are people that I could have went to, just my thoughts, my internal feelings, my paranoia. It was just that I didn't have nobody to talk to because I knew they wouldn't understand me, and also I'll just being judged all my life. I didn't really feel like going through any more judgment. When I started experimenting, I didn't tell my family.
Okay.
I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell my mama. My mom had a clue, but she was waiting for me to tell her. I didn't tell my dad because my dad, like I said, was dealing with cancer. So it was just, I didn't know how he would take it. It was a lot of emotional. It was a lot of emotional torment. I was like, and my spiritual walk then isn't as strong as it is now. So I was praying, but then I would give up because I'm just like, okay, Lord, I don't know. And I was in some way in some way, I kind of felt like once my dad passed away, I kind of felt like it was my fault. Like if I wasn't experimenting, or if I wasn't doing this, like maybe my prayers would have reached God. And like, oh, I was praying like, Lord, can you like please save my dad? Like, I really need him here. You know, we're about to graduate, go on prom, luncheon, go away to college. Like, he needs to see this. He needs to see like me graduate from college. He needs to see my twin sister graduate from college. When we get married, when we start having kids, he needs to be around for that. And when he passed away, I really beat myself up. 'Cause I was just like, it was just like, well, maybe if he wasn't doing this, maybe if he wasn't having sex with another boy, maybe God would have heard your cry, maybe God would have heard your prayers. And for a long time, like 17, 18, I just was so numb to the fact that I really, really almost gave up on God. And I was I was asleep one night and I had a dream, and it was actually a conversation with my dad, and it was like, it's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault. Like, the stuff and he was just telling me the stuff that he's done in his life is what brought him to that place. And it was also God, like, I did, and that's what also renewed my faith, because God was like, I heard your prayers, I heard your cries, I heard you wailing. I stopped doing a lot of stuff like fasted, consecrated. That's when I really started to learn like how to fast, because I was like, Lord, I need you to keep my dad here. And and God was just like, it was just in my plan for your dad to leave you, because now, because he left and because you went through all this, you are stronger now. And it's not your fault. Your prayers, your prayers and your cries, I heard them, but my will had to be done. It was July, I think, 30th. So it was the week before. It was maybe July 23rd or 24th. And I had just got off of work. No, it wasn't. It was the week he passed away. So it was that Monday. So I had just got off of work, and I was telling my sister, I was like, I'm gonna go see Daddy when I get off of work. So the bus that I would normally take to come to 95th, I took the 4, because he lived on 83rd. I took the 4, and I got off the bus, and I walked to my dad's house. And when he came to the door, when I came and rung his bell, his friend who was there taking care of him at the time, she came to the door, and I came in. He was sitting at the table. He was like really, really like just skin and bones. And I was like, hey, how are you? I'm like, hey, Daddy. He was like, hey, son. He like, hey, son, how are you? I'm good. What did I deserve to get a visit from you? I said, well, I just wanted to talk to you. I haven't talked to him since we started work and everything. And once the summer started, because that's when they had put him on hospice. And our last conversation was it was very important. That's one of the most important conversations that I always keep in my heart, because that was one of the last moments I was able to have with my father. We just talked about everything. He told me how proud he was of me, and he knew that he wasn't going to see us graduate. And he said, I want to let you know now that I'm proud of you. Um, I love you. And he like, son, no matter who you love, if it's a boy, if it's a girl, know that I still support you because you are my son. And that that really tore me up. It really did tear me up. He was like, no matter what happens, I still love you because you're my son. And my love will never wither because you decide to love a guy or you decide to love a girl. He said, because at the end of the day, he said, I love you. And it don't, like, He's like, I don't care what anybody else has to say about you. Know that I still love you.
Well,
It was I those are like literally the one of the last words that he said to me. I really, 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 really cherish those words because I never thought that I would hear that coming from him. Because I always thought my dad was embarrassed of me because I didn't play basketball, I didn't want to play football, I didn't want to play a sport. I thought he was embarrassing me because all all his other all his other nephews and family members, their sons went off to college or they were in high school and they were playing football, they were playing basketball, they were in some type of sport, and it was just like I felt like I was the black sheep, and it was just like, okay, well, your son, all he want to do is sit back and make dresses, and like for a while, I felt like he was embarrassed of my talent, embarrassed of like what, like it, like just having, I guess, like my father's approval, it it really because it almost made me hate my gift until he told me I'm very proud and everything that you've done. He said your freshman year when I came to Julian and you had made those dresses for that fashion show. He said I was very proud of you. He said, and from then I didn't care what any of my family had to say because I knew that God has given you a gift and to see you so happy doing it. He said that that's why I'm proud of you. So for a while, after my dad passed away, I really was upset. I mean, going through the stages of grief, most people like kind of get upset with God because like, why would you like? I did all of this praying and everything, but you still took him from me. And I for a brief while I was upset with God. I was mad. I was just really upset. But it was just something deep within me that kept me close to God. Yes, I was upset. It's just like when a child is upset with their parent, they don't stop loving them. Like, okay, you're upset with them for a while, but eventually you come back to them. And that's how me and God's relationship was. I was upset with God. I would go to church and I still, still be in the choir, still do the announcements. I still serve at church because that's something that God was just like, I know you're upset with me, but I still need you to do this. So like from then on, that's our relationship was rocky for like maybe the first 6 months my dad passed away after my dad passed away. But after that it just got stronger and stronger because that's when God kind of revealed to me my purpose. What I learned about myself is that I pretty much I can do all things through Christ. That's one thing I've learned about myself. I know that's like the typical scripture, but that's literally one thing that I can say that I know I can do all things through Christ. I know that God has never let me down before. He won't do it. Like God has never forsaken me. Even when I felt as He did, God always shows Himself true. And what I learned about myself is just that I can endure a lot and still come out on top. Because even though I was dealing with all of that, I still went to school. I still ran an organization. I still went to church. I was still um, active in my church, but still going through a lot. But it just showed me that as long as I had God on my side, that God was that pillar that I could lean on for sure. I'm excited about a lot. God has revealed to me a lot of great things that I'm going to be doing, like little by little confirmations from my closest friends. God has revealed to me my purpose and that that's all I can really say. God has just revealed so much to me, and I'm excited for my future, still being in school and working towards my bachelor's, and knowing that after I'm going to my master's, and I'm still, you know, that God is still going to use me not only in church but in the marketplace as well.
Mhm.
So like I'm excited for things that God's going to show me, things that God's going to put me in as far as business wise, being a businessman, owning my own clothing company, my own stores and stuff, and as well as me being in ministry. 3 words that I would use to describe me now at 21 would be hopeful, strong, and resilient.